What is up, Surgeaholics? Welcome back. Sooner Surge on a Tuesday evening. Hope you're doing good. Hope your week's going good. Another day closer to a new game. Let's flush everything that's behind the Oklahoma season so far and hope that Saturday's a totally different offensive performance. We'll see. Brent Venables talked to the media today. That happened today. And tomorrow, halfway through the week, Hunter, how you doing, man?
Good. Halfway through the week, Oklahoma still has a few more practices to figure it out on offense before Temple at 2:30 ESPN. Got to say, I like the crew. I know you're not as big of a fan on it, but I like the crew. Dave Pash, Dusty Dvorak, Taylor McGregor. I think that will be a really good crew to call the game. Wish I was listening to that live, but we'll be in the stadium again.
Hey, I'll say this for people that just like watching and listening to people talk about football, the SEC Network has some great stuff on it. Cole Kubelik, the video breakdowns he does, I think are outstanding. I encourage everybody later on this week, if you get time, go check it out. Their film breakdown of all SEC teams is outstanding. It really is.
Did you see the story he did on Jake Roberts post-game interview?
That.
All that was really cool. That was a cool package story that he did for Jake Roberts.
Colin, that's unacceptable.
I mean, they averaged 2.6 yards per carry against a team that gave up 195 yards on the ground the week before against UNLV.
Meanwhile, Boise State has one running back that has 10 touchdowns or 6.
That's really?
Yeah, he's leading I think people have him as the Heisman leader right now. Hey, but one thing you mentioned about rushing, Navy outgained Oklahoma against Temple. Navy played Temple last week. They outgained Oklahoma than what Oklahoma did against Temple. It's not good. I know. I heard Brent Venables talking about the injuries, maybe it's the cohesiveness, I think is kind of what he mentioned with so many different players. I have a question that I would pose to people because I'm not a football coach. I'm a football fan, okay? And I don't know the ins and outs of everything. And I posed this in the Discord today, Hunter, and it's this. I think part of the problem with the cohesiveness and with all the injuries is that OU doesn't play true backups. They move guys around. They like from slot receiver to outside or like tackle to guard. They don't have, if a tackle goes out, the backup comes in. They shuffle somebody over.
I agree with you on the offensive line. Who are they moving from slot to outside at receiver?
Well, Thompson, I don't think Thompson
was always going to be outside.
I don't think that's where he needs to be. So,
well, I mean, I expect him to play outside all year.
But Hunter, don't you think Thompson moved out there because of Gibson's injury?
No, I think he was going to be out there to begin with because I thought Farouk was going to be kind of the backup slot. You also have Jaquez Petaway in the slot. I mean, you're only going to rotate in so many guys at the slot, especially with Deion Burks, who should be getting double-digit targets at the minimum per game, if not closer to that 15, 16 range.
Hey, one other thing I want to bring up is this. I do understand. I know how injuries can – I mean, you take the top 3 receivers off any team in the nation, it's going to affect you. Here would be my, like, let me play devil's advocate because you know I like to do that, Hunter. I obviously can see that top 3 receivers are gone and it's going to hurt you. That's a known fact of any team. But at the same time, you hear people say, and you hear coaches say this, well, the other guys aren't getting as many reps. Well, they're getting the same amount of reps just on the second team. They should still be able to come in there and run the plays. I don't understand how the backups are like not where they know where they need to be. Are they just not getting as many reps at all in practice? Like even on the 2s? I mean, how does that work in a practice? Like the 2s and 3s just don't get as many reps at all. They're standing over on the sideline. I mean, how does that work?
I mean, I'm not there, but I would assume that's not the way that it's working. I mean, guys are going to get reps. Obviously, your 1s get more reps than your 2s and your 3s, but they're still getting in there And I think you're right on that. I mean, it does seem at times as if those guys that are having to step up into bigger to the one role because of injuries, they are just something's not right there. I mean, it should be a lot smoother of a transition. Maybe
Yeah.
it's really that big of a drop off from Oklahoma from the ones to twos on the offensive side of the ball. I don't know.
Well, and I know you only have what 20 hours, whatever the practice time is. You don't have a ton, but I don't know. Is Nick Anderson going to play at Tulane? I mean, I thought it was funny today. Brent Venables was talking about injuries and the guys, and he's pretty much saying, I don't know. Like they're still waiting from the trainers to tell them if they're ready for practice, and he's like, we don't know. We're frustrated with it too. That's what Brent Venables said. Like it would be nice to know if this guy's available for practice, if this guy's available for the game, when you're game planning, all that stuff. The fact of the matter is they need Nick Anderson. I mean, you cannot deny it. That wide receiver core needs him big time. His size, all of it. They need Nick Anderson back.
If whenever Nick Anderson returns, I mean, I think it's going to open it up for Deion Burks even more. He's going to get more opportunities because the defense is going to have another very good wide receiver that they're going to have to game plan for.
Yeah, you're right.
I mean, as it is now, I mean, again, I said a minute ago, I think Burks should be getting double-digit targets, probably closer to that 15 number. But the way it is right now, it's pretty easy for a defense to kind of single him out and make a Brennan Thompson or J.J. Hester or somebody else try to beat him.
Hey, Colin's asking, how many offensive points do you need to see versus Tulane to feel like, oh, you took the right step forward? To me, it's not even about as many points for me personally. It's about yards and moving the ball. I mean, if they're moving the ball all over Tulane and then settle for some field goals, I would still feel a lot better than not moving the ball and getting 3 and outs and not getting yards and not seeing any explosive plays. I want to see some explosive plays on offense. So to me, yeah, I would love to see a lot of points, but I need to see more than that. I need to see, because they put up 51 against Temple, and I wasn't very happy with the offensive performance. They could do the same thing against Tulane. I might not be happy depending on how they score those and how they look offensively. They got to get in a rhythm, whatever that takes. And to me, it starts with the running game. You got to somehow establish a running game at some point. I don't know what you do with your offensive line to figure that out, but simplify it to run some running plays that you guys are good at. I don't know, but that to me has to be fixed first. They're not, somebody mentioned in our live chat last night, and I heard it on the radio, I think today, about OSU. They don't have a run game right now with Ollie Gordon, one of the top backs in the nation, and their run game's not very good right now, but they're still moving the ball and throwing the ball. And that, I don't think OU has that right now. At wide receiver and quarterback, I don't think they're going to sit back there and just gunsling you around and throw it all over the field. They don't seem like it to me. So that tells me you need to get the run game going. But I don't know. Maybe you play double tight end and you try to run the ball. I don't know. I'm not a coach, and I don't claim to be a coach. We're just talking.
The issue right now is Chester, real quick. Oklahoma's rushing over 20 attempts a game, I think, even without Arnold. Maybe I'll confirm that real quick. I know Danny, the comment I had.
Arnold had 11.
Okay, but I was still thinking maybe not. I think for sure the Temple game they did. I'll confirm it. I know Danny said 35 points is an improvement against Tulane. I agree with that, honestly. I mean, you look, they had 14 points. The 14 points they had were all in the first half off of it was ruled a touch punt, botched punt by Houston, 10-yard touchdown to Brennan Thompson. Then the only other touchdown was to Jake Roberts. 35 points is a step in the right direction. Again, we talked about it. You guys talked about it with Steve. I mean, the defense is going to put Oklahoma in position to win.
But they can't just
Oklahoma having to score 45, 50, 60 points even at times to win a game. It's not the way it is with this defense. I think the defense is going to keep them in, even if, say, Oklahoma were to not improve offensively and have a very bad year in the SEC, I don't think they're going to be getting blown out because the defense is good enough to keep them in those games. Unless the offense is just turning the ball over constantly, then that would change. some
Yeah,
things.
you're right. If you stayed number one in the nation in turnover margin that they are right now,
Plus
but
7.
what's that?
They're plus 7 or plus
Yeah,
6. Sorry.
yeah, the number one in the nation plus
Yeah,
7.
7 forced turnovers.
Yeah, somebody's asking about your hat, Hunter.
No, it's a 405 hat, Oklahoma City Baseball Club.
There you
Not
go.
sure how you get Tulane from a red and blue hat, but who knows?
Yeah, I think we're Dalpost thinks talking about probably new coordinators. He's talking about. You know what? We'll see. If Seth Luttrell can't get it figured out, I mean, you're not going to sit here at the end of the year if they're ranked 136 in offense at the end of the year. You're right, Dalpost. I mean, they're not going to live with that in the SEC.
Okay, so real quick, Jay, to get back to the question about rushing attempts, if you take out Jackson Arnold, got it pulled up. Oklahoma has rushed the ball 65 times. They've attempted 61 passes. Of those 65 rushes, 22 of them team leading from Jackson Arnold. So 11 per game.
Yeah. We'll see on Saturday, Mizzou champ. Thanks for joining again tonight. Appreciate you. We'll see on Saturday. I think Mizzou's got Boston College on Saturday. That'll be,
Thomas Castellanos.
That's right. Greg Hawkins. I've seen a lot of people say that. I don't think that does anything for you right now.
Exactly. I don't know. It's a deeper issue than just quarterback. I mean, Jackson Arnold was not good. Everyone here can agree on that. He had a very bad game against Houston, but a quarterback change isn't going to be the magic solution right now. It's just not. There's many more problems than just quarterback play in Norman.
Yeah, and Selene's asking, has there been any other long-standing SEC teams experience the same situation? I'm trying to think as far as injuries to top players. I mean, there's been plenty of SEC teams that have had new coaching staffs because coaching staffs in the SEC don't last very long. If you go look at the numbers, I mean, there's only 3 or 4 that have really stayed intact for quite a long time. I mean, so they change quite a bit. And my thing about the staff, and I know a lot of people say it's a new OC, it's a new quarterback, but let's not forget they did have all off season together. It's not like he just got there. I mean, they had all off season to get ready. So, and I know you lost some guys. I get it. And I heard Brent Venables. I don't think Brent Venables was making excuses at all. I think he was just saying the fact of the matter is this is what we're dealt with right now. We got to be a lot better. He said it. And he said it's not an excuse. It's just what it is. But they got to get better Saturday. They got to get better Saturday.
They have to. I mean, the clock is ticking.
You know what you don't want to happen?
They nearly beat K-State a week ago. They were at one point up by 10. And they honestly should have won that game. Mario Williams has had a great season for them so far through 2 games. A familiar face for Oklahoma fans. But, I mean, it's prime time a week from Saturday, Tennessee.
Yeah, first home game, you don't want to get drilled at home.
I really think it would have to be a issue where all of a sudden, because right now the offense is just bad. They're not turning the ball over yet. I mean, when it's
they are. Bad, they're turning it over.
One turnover.
Every 3 downs, they turn it over.
Oh, okay. Yeah, if we're counting 3 and outs, I had 4 of those, so I guess 5, Jay. But in the turnover margin, they have 1. They only have 1 right now. It was a bad interception, bad play by Jackson Arnold, bad play by Deion Burks. But until that starts to arise, I think the defense is going to keep them in every game, even against Tennessee. Great offense, Nico, and the Volunteers, Josh Heupel back in Norman. The defense is good enough to keep them in the game. So, I mean, they were on the field, I think, 35 minutes against Houston. Yeah. And the fact that they kept on having to get one more stop because they got it with the RSJ pick. They got it with the Grayson Holton safety. The offense wasn't able to reciprocate that. And they were still able to get those stops.
Yeah, and I agree with Jay Johnson here, OU1, about time of possession. If OU can't get it together offensively and they aren't doing a lot of 3 and outs, the defense will have a very tough time holding up, I think, because of the time of possession. Let me ask this question. Is it purely experience, in your opinion, with when you look at the defensive side of the ball, they can rotate guys in, the guys that aren't starters, and they don't drop off much. Why is it different on offense?
I think that some of it is experience as well.
But Lewis Carter hasn't played. Sammy Omosigho didn't play at all. But Sammy Omosigho didn't play at all last year, and he's playing great.
First off, I said some. I was continuing, and then you had to jump in there.
Okay.
I think it's also they're just better on the defensive side of the ball. I think talent-wise, the defense is far and away better than the talent that they have on the offense.
But wide receiver room, everybody talked about in the offseason was the deepest.
Yeah. And I think some people were wrong on – I think a lot of people thought that those younger guys would be able to step up. And also, I don't think at first anyone factored in the injuries that the wide receiver room would take. But I think a lot of people covering the team, fans as well, thought that the younger guys would be able to step up and make more of an impact from whenever their number is called than what they've been able to do so far.
What's up, Jerm?
Not much. I got a couple of thoughts on what you were just saying, guys. Can you hear me pretty good?
Yeah.
As far as, and I heard BV's presser, I thought there were some telling things, guys. I'll get to them in a second. One, if I'm a wide receiver on this team and I'm one of these young guys, to me, that was a challenge from what I heard today. One of these guys has to step up. Jay, you mentioned Sammy Omosigho. Let's get something straight, though. He's a backup cheetah guy. He's not a third string guy. That's one thing. There is a difference. He's got all the size you need. There's a lot of those intangibles that he has. In my opinion, I don't think anyone thought Zion Reagans was going to be a key piece on this year's team, Jay.
Is he?
He played a heck of a lot of snaps, Jay.
He played a lot of snaps, yeah. But I'm just saying, is he going to be a key piece on this year's team, you think?
Absolutely not, Jay.
Then what are you talking about then?
Jay, I'm saying
you just
we
said
can't
that.
compare. We can't. I said what? We can't compare the receivers that are playing to the backup cheetah position. Those guys are backups. In my opinion, Zion Reagans is not a backup. I think he's a third-team guy. Brent Venable said there's a difference in the ones and the twos and the threes. I get that. To me, it's a challenge. Somebody has got to step up in that room. I don't think Zion Reagans is going to be the guy to do it. I would rather Zion Kearney get a chance. And Blake, the Gavin Freeman stuff, I mean, yeah, I bet they would have loved to have Gavin Freeman right now. What do you think on that, Jay?
Yeah, but I'm kind of at a loss at wide receiver, to be honest with you. I don't know.
Jason, is that that is the number one position. And I agree, Hunter, Gavin's a slot.
Let me ask this question.
That's part of the issue. They have too many slot guys.
Let me ask this question. If they're going to put Brennan Thompson on the outside, well, why not put Burks over there?
Jay Burks has been playing multiple positions. Coach has said that. He's been going through a lot of stuff mentally to prepare because
keep going.
Because he's having to play multiple positions. But listen, again, Jay, if there's one position group that right now is holding OU's offense back, it's not running backs. It's not even the offensive line. It's not even Jackson Arnold. It's the wide receiver room.
Well, I think it's a combo.
It's the wide. The more I look at it, I think it's the wide receiver room.
It's a combo of everything. And the ones that are saying about Freeman, guys, Freeman was a PWO. If you're
agree now after thinking about
if you're saying that he was going to be the answer at wide receiver, then that wide receiver room isn't very deep. I mean, if they miss him, I mean, I think you'd miss him depth-wise, but he's not going to be in there guys that just tears it up for you and a stud. I mean, he's going to play a part, but right now they need somebody to be alpha at wide receiver, and I'm even talking about Deion Burks. I'm going to be flat out honest with you.
To me, I would like to see more of Ivan Carrion with his height. I would like to see more Zion Kearney. He's 6'1". Hester and it. I've already said that. I don't know why people think he is, but is Anderson going to play? Yeah, here's what BV said. He should be back really soon. Maybe this week, maybe next week. Thanks, Brent.
Hey, let me get to Bobby. Let me get to Bobby. Bobby, thanks for joining us. We're on air every night at 9:30. Glad you're on here. I actually addressed this right when we opened the show tonight. And here was my question to Hunter. Jeremy, I'll ask you. You hear a lot of talk about the 2s and the 3s, and you got to give them reps. They just don't get as many reps as the 1s. Do they not run reps with the 2s? And is it not the same thing when you go in to run with the 1s?
Jay, here's my honest thoughts. I think Zion Reagans was a 3 guy. I don't think he was getting many reps at all. Gibson, Anderson, Farouk, Burks. Okay, then you have Andrew Anthony as a backup. You have Brennan Thompson as a backup, and maybe Petaway. Zion Reagans, look, again, I don't want to be too hard on him, Jay, because he barely played any. He played a whole lot last week, Jay. And you're right about Anderson. It comes with the last name. It's like they've struggled with injuries their entire life. But I was wrong on Brennan Thompson. I'll be the first to admit it. I know Chief and I, and I'm not going to speak for Chief, but I'll speak for myself. Brennan Thompson is not what I thought. He's a package guy. He's not an everyday down guy, Jay. You're right on that. He's not. He's a backup receiver that should play 10 to 15 snaps a game.
Yeah, and the wide receivers, I will say this. Some of those guys that, like Reagan's first snaps at Oklahoma under the lights, maybe they get jitters out and they look better this week. So I'm not one to sit here and say they're done at wide receiver. These guys
I don't think he's in the right position, Jay.
I mean, we'll find out. You'll find out. They got to turn it around Saturday. There's no way. They will absolutely lose Saturday if they don't get it figured out offensively. Mark my word. They will absolutely lose on Saturday because Tulane can score points and they play pretty good defense. So it will be a test if you're not moving the ball. If you don't move the ball, it's gonna be another low scoring game, and hopefully you can pull it out because they got to do something better on offense this week.
Bobby, I know you're kidding, and I will say when something's clear as day and I can call it like it is, I promise you that. No, the time is now. Steve Stutzman said it Sunday night. We've heard, look, to me, BV looks very, I mean, he knows it's time to put up or shut up, Jay.
Hey, Mizzou champ. The difference is we're realists, okay? We're not saying doom on Saturday. I have not picked OU to lose the game on Saturday, but
hey,
nobody.
No,
listen. Let me talk. Nobody in their right mind at all, would look at OU stats after Houston and say if they played that way Saturday they would win. Nobody.
Hey, Jay,
okay.
So I got a question from Mizzou champ. Why aren't you on a Mizzou podcast on a Mizzou YouTube live?
I'm glad he's on here.
I'm glad you're on here too. I'm questioning why you're not on a Mizzou one. It's probably because they don't have one. I don't know. I mean,
basketball season they might. Hey,
look,
wait, where is that game at? Is that game in Boston College or Missouri, Mizzou champ?
I thought it was in Missouri, Jay.
I think it's in Missouri too. But
Mizzou champ will know if it's a road game.
Yeah, and Mizzou right now, Mizzou has right now after 2 games, they look great. So there's nothing for them. Of course, they're going to go in there.
Cook hasn't been elite.
Jeremy, listen. Of course, Missouri fans, if OU had won both games, the score Missouri fans had, everybody at Oklahoma fans.
OU won 51-3, Jay. You would have thought they'd have lost. What are you talking about?
The offense wasn't good, Jeremy. The offense wasn't good.
51-3, Jason.
No, that's true. I forgot about that, Hunter. That's right.
Did they really not win one? I did not know that, Jay.
What is your record prediction? Is this for Missouri? Are we talking about Missouri now? At home. It's a home game.
Brian Bald Eagle says, is it me? Does it seem BV's tone is like someone shot his best dog?
He was a little bit today. But I think
Barry Trammell asked a great question.
Yeah, let me say, Barry Trammell, John Hoover has to go into. I will say this. I think Brent Venables is very on edge and probably not happy with what's going on offensively. You can't be. So, and he knows the questions are coming. That's part of the job. But what do you say to it? It's not good right now. I mean, it's just not. I mean, I don't know what else to say.
He's definitely frustrated with the injuries at receiver. I think the O-line, Jay, has a possibility to make some improvements this week, even with Hatchett out for the year. I don't know if they can at receiver.
So right now, let's just say Nick Anderson comes back and he's healthy.
Okay.
What are your three best options at receiver?
You go Nick Anderson at the left, at one outside receiver, Burks in the slot. Me personally, it's either Brennan Thompson or Andrew Anthony, Jay. If Andrew Anthony can go, those are your three. Brennan Thompson's a backup.
And
I line Bauer Sharp out in the slot, out wide, not on the offensive line. That's what I do. Or I go two tight end set and I ground pound and bootlegs.
Hey, Jay Johnson, we've talked about this. You're right on this. I've said it's going to make or break Brent Venables' career at Oklahoma if he makes bad hires like this. If Seth Luttrell does indeed turn out to be a bad hire and they don't fix it, then that falls on Brent Venables, just like the Ted Roof hire did. I think Brent Venables made a massive move in getting Zach Alley. That's a positive. We'll see what happens with Seth Luttrell the rest of the year. I will say it's 2 games. Let's see what happens the rest of the year. It might be awful, and if so, he's going to have to reap the back.
Hey,
I mean,
two things. First, Benjamin Banner, thanks for being on here. I don't recognize in the chat.
Yeah, Benjamin's been on here before.
Oh, sorry.
Well, I thought you had a photographic memory. You told me 2 weeks ago.
You're absolutely correct.
Wait. You told me you had a photographic memory.
I do, Jay. I don't remember seeing it.
You can't remember the name Benjamin Banner?
Jay, you're absolutely correct. Nobody wants to win more than BV. He works harder than anyone at all on this. And I do have faith. My biggest concern is the injuries and not having some of those guys. I got to get to Mizzou champ. Here's what separates OU Missouri. Okay? J.J. Hester was good enough at Missouri. He's not at OU. Okay? And I do have a photographic memory, Jay.
Do you?
Yes.
How? He forgot to take a picture, Bob.
Jay, would you say, and I already asked that, so I don't want to ask it again, but who would your receivers be, Jay?
I would go Burks and Anderson. The third one to me is so up in the air right now. I don't understand if Anthony played week 1 and he didn't even play last week. That tells me he didn't feel good out there.
He was 100% suited up. He went through all the warm-ups. I think he could have gone.
Then why didn't he go, Jeremy?
I don't know, Jay.
Do not be one of those people that says, oh, they just held him out of the game. That's ridiculous. They won by 2 points.
I didn't say they held him out. I don't know why he didn't play, Jay. He was fully dressed out.
Well, yeah, he was your best receiver last year. If he can go, he's got to go. I mean.
Well, just saying.
Chief, thanks so much for the super. You're awesome. I mean, just so supportive of the channel. We really appreciate it. I expect an offensive explosion this weekend. I know they've looked bad, but no way the OC and players don't hear the chatter. Plus, we have a trumpet. When's that trumpet coming back out, Jerm?
I actually have it in the van with me tonight.
Oh, do you really?
Absolutely.
Don't play taps. Do not worry about the receiver room and get beaten.
I shouldn't worry about the receiver room. I may be totally wrong on Zion Reagan's, Jay, but I want Zion Kearney more. Here's what absolutely blows my mind, everybody. The best block by any receiver this year was Zion Kearney. You realize that? The best block was Zion Kearney on Taylor Tatum's touchdown. Jay Johnson says, you're a homer. Stop this podcast. Hey, listen, Jay Johnson. You're calling me a homer or this show a homer? You haven't been on here enough, I guess.
Yeah, I don't think we're homer at all. But
hey, You've been wrong on many things. Well, you might use your grammar better. You've been wrong. Okay, I'll start pointing out mistakes if you want me to.
Hey, you know what? Sometimes I feel like we're all negative, and it's not any positive at all. So, but hey, and that's fine. Everybody's entitled to their opinion. If you think we're a Homer podcast, I mean, I guess you like listening to Homer podcast. But
I don't know. Yeah, I mean, thanks for listening to the Homer podcast. We homer it all the way down to 7-5. Some people do on here. I say 9-3. You can watch it. You can watch any video that we've done. I am very critical, but I'm also talking very positive on things. Okay.
Coconut Greg says he's a homer.
Coconut says he's a homer.
Yeah, we've all been wrong. 2 games in, and the season's been pretty unpredictable. Yeah. Hey, and I'm not listen. I see some other stuff coming in about other I'm not going to talk about other podcasts. Don't even try to get me started to try to talk about another podcast. That's not what we're doing. We're not going to talk about what we like or dislike about other podcasts. It's just not what we're going to do. We're going to talk about OU, talk about what you see as Surgeaholics, what you think. Chief, this is absolutely facial hair. It is coming in thick, as the kids would say. So it is. Hey, I lose a bet, I stick with it. So,
hey, what's a homer? It's when you basically say there's nothing wrong when things are wrong, which is not what we're doing. Fred, you're absolutely right. We could be Notre Dame. Thank goodness we're not, because they have a loss on their schedule.
I don't know if Chuck's being sarcastic on that or what.
Yes, I do think our defense is really good. We'll see in 2 weeks.
Hey, this is a great point. I actually, this crossed my mind today when an OSU fan was talking to me. And last year, if you remember, was it South Alabama that destroyed them?
Yes.
Do you remember how bad they looked offensively last year?
Yes.
It was bad. So
you got to get a running game, Jay.
I'm not going to sit here and say they are turning around. I don't know if they will. They very well may not. But I do think they could too. So I don't think you could say it's out of the question. I know there's a lot of people on there that say 3-9 now after what they've watched. Well, if they don't get it turned around offensively, it's going to be a long year. I don't think anyway they're going to be 3-9, but it would be a long year in the SEC. I agree with that. But if they turn it around, who knows? I think their defense is good enough that they're going to win a lot of games. So,
hey, I appreciate it, Tulane, your support for our channel, as I do all the Surgeaholics. I will say the personal attacks don't need to happen in the chat.
Stop with the personal attacks.
Just stop it. We've only banned one person in the history of the Sooner Surge, which hasn't been a long history. It's been over a year, though. Let's keep this to strictly football, please.
And hey, and Jay Johnson, by the way, I have no problem if you want to sit here and say your opinions and say your opinions about our podcast being a homer. I know what I believe as far as what I put out there. I know I'm not a Crimson and Cream homer. Okay. I'm an OU fan, but I'm not a homer. So but you can say that. That's fine. It's your opinion. So pulling for the best scenario possible, Talon Wolf says, for the team you're a fan of is not being a homer. This is an OU fan podcast, and nobody's saying the Sooners are going undefeated. We always keep it real. I appreciate that, and we try our best. I will say this: sometimes me or Jeremy will go off on some part of Oklahoma that maybe we're more in love with than other people, or we have a better record prediction than other people. But I'm not going to sit here and say OU's going to win every game by 10 or 15 points. That to me is a homer. I've said the offense is bad. To me, a homer would be the offense wasn't that bad. They had things didn't go their way. That's a homer.
Yeah, and look, I think he said it best when he said we're a fan podcast. We're for the fans. We are fans. We are not insiders. Appreciate the comments on the Trent Rattery video. He'll actually be joining us. We're doing that weekly with Trent Rattery. So he's going to give some great insight. Appreciate you checking that out. If you haven't, go check it out. And Ron, we know you're not a homer. We see your comments.
Yeah.
Larry, you're 100% right. Until OU loses, they're undefeated. And hey, I'll say this. This is a good statement, Jay. All of OU's goals are still in front of them.
Yeah, but you know what that's like saying, Jeremy? Because we used to play golf together growing up, and there would be a lot of times when you would drive the ball and just smash it into another fairway, and every time your response was, "Man, I got a great angle into the pin. I got a great angle, even you're a fairway over." That's kind of like that comment you just said. Is that all the goals are in front of them? Yeah, it's like saying that it's a great angle in golf when you're in another fairway. Right now, they got all their goals, but it's not pretty. Okay, right now, that's what I would say. That's a great comparison, is it not?
It's also a fact.
Well, I know it's a fact, but
so
hey, let me get to this.
Okay.
Because somebody asked earlier if Nick Anderson plays, does OU score in their first drive? Well, to me, your first drive should be your best drive of the game. Would you agree? You can script it. The defense doesn't know what you're doing yet. Your first drive should be scripted, and it should be done really well. You should move the ball to at least move the ball, but you should get a field goal or touchdown, I think. I'm a firm believer in that. As an OC, your first drive's got to be your best drive. Because you're scripted all week.
And Jay, speaking to that, you know what I would love to see Saturday at 2:30?
What's that?
The first drive, OU goes super fast out of the gate.
Why? Why?
It's been their best all year when they've gone fast.
So go really fast and take up 30 seconds and then punt it?
No, you go fast, Jay.
That doesn't mean anything, Jeremy. That doesn't mean
Hey, if you're going to say put Hawkins in for a spark, then why not switch it up and go fast for a spark, dude?
You can try it. I mean, I'm not saying you can't try it.
It's been their best thing all year, Jay.
We'll see. And it better not be a burst.
You know why they can't go fast?
Hey, right here would be the best thing that could probably – well, I'll say this. Two best things that could happen on Saturday would be either that or a run for about 60-yard touchdown, because they got to get the running game going. Hey, Ashley, they are pretty good offensively. If you go look at it, I think, Hunter, I don't know if you can look this up. I thought they were ranked like number 17 or in the nation in offense, but I may be wrong. But their quarterback's a dual threat. They got Mario Williams on the outside. Their running back
on it.
I think they're ranked 7th or 17th. I can't remember right. It's one of the two, I believe. But
you think Mario Williams torches? You think Mario Williams is going to torch OU, Jay?
I mean, he'll catch a ball down the field probably once. I don't know if
who's going to guard him is my question.
I don't think he torches. 32 in total. I was wrong.
I don't think he does much at all.
Maybe I was thinking defense 17. Sorry. I was wrong. Not the first time, won't be the last.
Who's Ashley's team?
I don't know. Ashley, who are you a fan of?
Offensively, OU's about 136th.
Yeah.
Yes, I said that. 136.
Mizzou champ. This is interesting. Isn't that crazy? Every year, it seems like that happens around this time, and it's OU Tulane. But at the same time, it is hurricane season, and they always play in September. So, I mean, what do you really expect? Hopefully not Woody, Gray God says.
14th in yards per play, Jay. It's going to be a good game. Yeah. I think OU's going to find something, though.
Really?
In the running game specifically.
Let me answer this, Dalpos. Dalpos says, if you guys didn't stick to your original prediction, given what we know now, what would you say record is? Here's what I'll say. If you're telling me, Dalpos, that the offense doesn't improve, if that's what you're telling me, if you're telling me the offense gets no better at all, then what I would say is this. I think the best they could do would probably be 7-5. The best. And that would be hanging everything you have on this defense to get you the Tulane win and the Maine win. That gives you at 4 to maybe win South Carolina at home. That's 5. Maybe Auburn. 7-5 would be the absolute best with this offense if it doesn't get better. Now, I think it's going to get better. How much better? I don't know. That's what you're waiting to see.
I do know one thing. Very, very appreciative of you, Benjamin Banner.
Man, appreciate that, Benjamin.
Thank you very much. I appreciate the compliment. We do devote a lot of time. I mean, we're on this every single night outside of our regular lives. He has 3 kids. I have 3 kids. We're busy. But we do this because honestly, we love it. It's a hobby. It's what we do as an outlet. We love the Sooner Surge community. You guys that are on here. And I agree, Benjamin, in the fact that this Saturday, it can start. It can be turned around. They can make strides as they get ready. And can you imagine, guys, if OU were to turn something around Saturday and the offense does something that looks to be something that we can get excited about, we're 7 days then from Tennessee on a night game at the Palace on the Prairie. First SEC game in the history of the program in the conference. It would be amazing. We're identical twins, Ashley. We're identical twins.
That's right. Hey, Benjamin, I just want to say thank you. Thank you very much for that. We really appreciate it. Ashley says, y'all don't want to know. I live in Oklahoma, though. You're either a Texas or an OSU fan based off that. I think you're a Texas or OSU fan, I would say. 30 or more points with RD will win games. That would win. I think if you scored 30 or more every game, I think 9-3 would be on the table.
Hey, Coconut Greg, we actually do have a PayPal link. It's on our channel bio. Here's what I'll say, though. Listen, all Surgeaholics, we don't get on here, and I'm going to say this. We try to show as many. Hunter is great, AI Hunter. He is great at showing comments. We try to hit as many as we can. We do not only show people who donate, and we don't beg for you to donate. If you would like to, there is a PayPal link on our channel bio, and we do have the supers turned on, but it's not something that we sit here and promote because we will promote the Fan Stop because we love what the Fan Stop is about. Kevin is great. The Fan Stop, you're talking about someone who works hard, is devoted. It's thefanstop.com. Jay, do you have that hat on hand right there?
I do.
In a few weeks. I hope that isn't your team, Ashley, but you got to get on thefanstop.com and order that thing.
That's right. And Chuck's asking if I think Las Vegas was right. Well, they had it at 7 wins. I mean, I think they could be right. Vegas is right a lot of times. I thought they were dead wrong going into the season, and I thought OU's offense would be a lot better. I mean, what can I say? I thought OU's offense would be a lot better. Big Orange says, I'm sure game day will be normal for the Tennessee game. On one condition, Big Orange, if OU holds up this week and beats Tulane. If OU loses Tulane, they're not coming.
If OU wins, it's going to be college game day there. And Jay, Ashley, you're not the only Texas fan on here. Hook'em Horns, there's a few. I can't remember the other guy's name, but there's a few on here.
All right, let me ask you this.
Thanks, Jen.
Yeah.
Great seeing Jen on Saturday. I met Jen. I met Chief. It was great meeting him. I'd met Jen before, but it was great.
Yeah, let me say this. 12-team playoff. Right now, I think you got 2 pretty much locks in the SEC. I think you got Texas and Georgia. I think those 2 teams are pretty good locks. And then if you look at Tennessee, their schedule, they play Georgia, Bama, and Oklahoma. If they win one of those games, they're in. Because
if they don't slip up,
because if they win one of those, they're probably going to go 10-2.
Who's your group of 5 team right now? Because it used to be you had SMU as the ACC. That ain't happening, Jay.
Well, you know, a lot of people are on the Memphis train.
Liberty still.
Liberty. I mean, Boise, if they would have beaten Oregon.
I'll tell you one, Jay. Guess what? You don't want to hear this. If Tulane beats OU, well, and they lost to K-State.
They lost to K-State, yeah. Texas State, and Thurman says. And listen, right now there's a whole wide range of what's possible with this OU team. It all depends to me on the offense. They got to get it together. Mizzou, doesn't OU and Mizzou match up this season? They do. You know, I said before the year, the Missouri and Ole Miss games are going to be key for Oklahoma if they want to make the playoffs. We're not sitting here talking about playoffs right now. We're talking about Tulane because now that's right. Mizzou champ. That's a great one. Northern
NIU.
You know, they have the 3rd longest winning streak in the nation at 5 games right now.
Can you believe that's the 3rd longest winning streak?
I know.
Now, Jackson, hey, real quick, I got to say, Mr. Dillagaff.
Thanks, man.
So much. Hey, Thanks so much. And this is let's see the point here. Guys, those of us that have played this sport know the injuries on your first string mess up your unit cohesion. Just need those second and third string guys more reps. And listen, Mr. Dilligaff, thanks for the super. Appreciate it so much. And you're basically repeating what BV said, because people want to point out, and Jay, I saw Mike Houck today made a comment on Twitter about it. I don't know if you saw that. There was a comment posted and it said what BV said about the 1s, 2s, and 3s. And then Mike Houck said, what did he say after that? And it's what Mr. Dilligaff says, that there's also cohesion things. He's not just bashing the guys that they can't play. He's saying there's some cohesion. Hey, did you hear what Javonte Barnes said about Jackson Arnold?
I didn't see it.
Javonte Barnes said Jackson Arnold in practice this week has been way more vocal, and he thinks that they're going to turn it around on offense this week. What I take from that is Jackson Arnold's taking this personally. He's sick of it. I think we're going to see all of them working together more and doing some better things.
Yeah, and Mr. Dilligaff, from that comment, it kind of sounds like you used to play, just kind of from the comment that you used. So what I would ask is this, and I asked it earlier, I don't know how practices are structured, but 2s and 3s, I know they don't get reps with Jackson Arnold, but don't they run the same stuff with Michael Hawkins, where when they come in as a 1, it shouldn't be that much of a difference? I would love to know your input, Mr. Dilligaff.
But Jay, it is a difference with the quarterback and the way the ball's thrown.
I understand cohesion with Arnold. I get that. But sometimes it seems like they're like the blocking as a wide receiver, some of that, like they should be able to do that as a 2 and 3 and then come in as 1 and not
you're going against 2s, whereas now you're going against 1s.
Well, and maybe that's why Britt Venable said they're running more good on good this week.
Good.
That's what he said, because somebody asked what changes were you making. He said, well, we're running more good on good in practice this week, so when they get out there, it's not as like shocking. So maybe that's the thing that they're doing. Maybe that's going to help them not be so eye-opening when they get out there in the game. I don't know.
Your husband is correct. They're wearing their good unis. The alternates, the throwbacks are put away. It's time to don the real traditional unis and show up like all OU fans want them to do.
I'm trying to remember the OU West Virginia game that Spencer Rattler got booed off the stadium at home. They scored 16 points. I think it was 16-13 final.
Yes.
I believe that was a alternate uniform night.
Absolutely. Every time they play West Virginia. Hey.
I saw real quick. I saw something on Twitter tonight that they were wanting OU to wear Unity uniforms for the first SEC game against Tennessee, and I about lost my mind.
Hey, Grey God, look, I'm going to go at it again right now because I feel like it, okay? Jackson Arnold played poorly. It was pathetic. Pathetic. Yet, it's his team. Seth Luttrell said it's his team. I'm giving the guy kudos if he's trying to own this and get this team back to where it needs to be. Kudos to Jackson Arnold for that. Turnover prone. He's 6 TDs and 1 pick. He played horrible, but he's not turnover prone this year. In fact, Grey God, in my opinion, that's part of the reason holding Jackson Arnold back. He's being too conservative. He's not.
Hey,
just go slinging around the yard.
Hey, and real quick, Jackson, bro,
Jackson,
would be. No, let me finish. Golly, man, let me finish. That if they rolled out there in the Unity uniforms in their first SEC game, are you kidding me? Wear the traditional uniforms. Do not change it. It's your first SEC game. Do not throw the alternate uniforms out there.
You know who wears alternates? Teams that don't have tradition. Okay, fact. Oregon doesn't have tradition. They wear alternates. OU has tradition. Bama ain't wearing no alternates.
Hey, and Larry, you're right on this. In the offseason and fall camp, everybody thought, what is Texas going to do? They're down to their 3rd or 4th running back. It hadn't affected them at all.
Hey, Greg, I haven't watched Aaron Murray's quarterback. I don't give a rip about Aaron Murray's breakdown. I don't need to watch a video to see someone play bad. He played badly. What else do you want me to say? In the same tone, John, he's playing timid. I've told you my reasons, guys, why he's playing timid. He doesn't trust the receivers. He doesn't trust the O-line. There's no cohesion, as Mr. Dilligaff said. All that leads to someone not playing confidently.
I agree, Jeremy. I agree. It leads to timidness, but you can't play that way. You're the starting quarterback at the University of Oklahoma. He's got to.
You absolutely can play that way if you don't trust guys. So you've got to fix it, Jay. How do you fix it? How do you trust guys? How do you get more confidence? You go to work. Hey, Jackson, that's a bad take too, because I know he's very confident. He's very confident.
I think Jackson, to be fair, is what he just said is the exact same that just came out of your mouth about him.
He doesn't have trust.
Wait, somebody define trust and define confidence.
I think confidence. No. Thank you, Chief. I'm going to tell you. You want me to define it?
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm talking about. I think he has 100% confidence and trust in himself. I don't think he has trust in everyone because he's not used to him yet. Mr. Dilligaff, thanks so much again. Appreciate you doing this again. When you're not practicing with the starters, i.e. the first string, the timing is completely different on all levels. Example, how many centers have played in the first? He's had 4 centers in 3 games.
Yeah, okay? I agree with that. I mean,
4 centers, 3 games.
He's had 7 different offensive line, whatever, put together units. I mean,
Hawkins can Mr. Dill- all he wants.
Mr. Dilligaff.
They may put him in.
Appreciate that, Mr. Dilligaff. You're speaking fact, as Chief T-Bird said. You need trust to have confidence, John says. So you're saying he doesn't have confidence?
Absolutely. They go hand in hand. Trust.
Right. So you agree with Jackson?
No, Arnold has confidence.
But you just said they go hand in hand.
I'm going to add a preposition.
Walk it backwards. Walk it back and then answer it.
I'm going to add a prepositional phrase. And you don't know what that is because you don't know grammar, Jay. I'm going to add a prepositional
I don't know what, Jeremy, you know what? I'm 46 years old. I have no clue what a prepositional phrase is, nor why do I need to.
Time out. Did you just say you're 46?
Yeah.
We're 47.
Are we? I forget.
We're 47, Jay.
Okay, that's fine. I don't care.
Oh,
I don't keep track. Jeez. Crawled at it back, baby. Crawled at it back.
You talk about walking it back. You just claim to be 46. Hey, I'm saying Jackson is right. Arnold does not have any confidence in everyone around him. I think Arnold has confidence in himself. I just don't think that the trust is there with everyone. Jay trying to get that year back.
Hey, it's that Bobby. Bobby, it's that COVID year. Don't we get the COVID year?
Yeah, we get a COVID year.
COVID year, baby. That's right. I got another year. COVID year. I saw a stat that it was kind of shocking, and this is not a comparison at all. I just thought it was funny. Dylan Gabriel has 4 touchdowns and Jackson Arnold has 6 through 2 games. I was like blown away. The way Jackson Arnold's played awful. I was like, I thought Dylan Gabriel had more than that, but they just haven't thrown him any touchdowns. I don't want you to get started on that though. Please don't, Jeremy. No matter what happens in a ride or die sooner, I'm a ride or die sooner, but I want to see these guys so well, so bad. Come on, Sooners, find a gear and get it going. I love that comment down post. I agree.
John, are you an identical twin? We are identical mirror twins. I'm actually married to an identical triplet. Fun fact. What's awful, just awful?
Probably because Dylan Gabriel, because I brought up Dylan Gabriel.
Hit the like button. Hit the like button.
Yeah, if you haven't hit the like button, do it. Also, if you haven't hit the subscribe button, subscribe. Turn on the notifications. Every time we go live, you'll be notified. Also, the fan stop. You saw the hats earlier. Check them out. I know there's a lot of Tennessee fans on here, Texas fans, Missouri fans. I believe, I'm not sure. I think they do most of those schools, but you'd have to look on their website, thefanstop.com. Sign up start of the month. Use code SURGE, 10% off your first 3 months. Yeah, Jared.
Great point by Mez. Texas has abandoned the RPO. And listen, their schemes, their route running, the drags across, where they have receivers crossing and going, it is very, very, very elite by Sark. That's what OU needs to do as well. Baker says I live in Oregon. I've told every Duck fan here that DG's a good quarterback, but he has more balls batted down at the line and over more wide receivers than I've ever seen. Oregon is ready to give up on him. I've seen a lot of the stuff. I don't want to sit there and bash him. I've read a lot of their stuff. He's going to put up great numbers. I don't think they'll win it all this year, though.
No, I think they'll make the playoff, but I don't.
Hey, I remember when Jaden Gibson went down. I came on this live at 9:30, whatever night that was, and I said, OU has just lost a massive piece because he was the only guy on this team that could go up and get one. And people on here were like, no, they got guys. Jaden Gibson, those balls to Zion Reagans would not have. Jay, answer this, Jay. The deep
real quick. You can't
just
you
a
can't
second. Answer this. The deep balls to Zion Reagans that Jackson Arnold threw 5 yards out of bounds. Would he have thrown those balls 5 yards out of bounds with Jaden Gibson out?
You can't say he wouldn't. You don't know that.
I absolutely. He threw those balls away, Jay.
That's a stupid comment.
No, it's not. He threw those balls away, Jay. Slap the table. He threw the balls away.
What do you want me to do? Jeez, I'll slap it, but that's not. It's stupid.
5'8", Zion Reagans is not going up and getting one.
Hey,
you know what that play design was? And by the way, Jay, did you hear Deion Burks today say that he actually did not run the route the right way on that deep ball? That was interesting.
They said it on the broadcast. I watched the broadcast. They talked all about it.
Oh, I was at the game, so I don't know.
The miscommunication between him and Arnold. I mean, I just think it's stupid that a guy throws the ball 7 yards out of bounds, but if Gibson was in there, it would have been on target. That's the dumbest comment I've ever heard in my life.
He threw the ball away, Jay.
Oh, I don't think so. I think it was a bad throw. I think it was a bad throw.
Get me a media pass. I'll go ask Jackson Arnold the question.
What are you going to ask him? You think he's going to? I mean, what are you going to ask him, Jeremy?
Did you just see something that wasn't open, so you threw it out of bounds? Answer is yes.
Those were not balls. Those were not thrown out of bounds.
Jason, those plays were taught. I promise you, the play is Zion Reagans is running a fly route. If he has a step or two, you throw it to him. Otherwise, get rid of it out of bounds. That's what it was.
Jeremy, you can throw it. You can throw it where he can't catch it, but at least have it not out of bounds. You can throw it where it's like not going to be intercepted. Give him a shot.
That's risky, Jay.
Not for a 5-star quarterback. It's not. You sit here and talk about his arm talent all the time, and you're saying he's going to throw the ball 7 yards out of bounds, and you're okay with that. That's ridiculous.
I'm not okay if it's a horrible pass. I just think
that is an absolute ridiculous take because
fine.
It is. It's an absolute ridiculous take.
Good
on good. Good on good.
I know if you were quarterbacking and you had a small guy out there and the guy was doubled up or all over, you wouldn't be just throwing it where the guy could catch it in a game situation. Ron, you obviously didn't see the pass, the drag route to Brennan Thompson, dime. Hey, and by the way, people wanted to talk about Bauer Sharp on the, the drop pass on 3rd and 14 that OU picked up that he dropped, Jay. Yeah. People are talking that, he was going to get hammered. He caught the ball, took a step, and then tried to spin out of contact. That ball was a dime. Ron, you're wrong. He threw a few good passes in that game.
They got to get better blocking as tight ends. The tight end blocking right now isn't that good. I'll say this. John says, "Who do you blame for the interception?" I think it's
they were both at fault, but
they were both at fault. And I agree with DeLue. The combos, the center's position specifically, in my opinion, is a killer for Oklahoma right now. And I don't know what you do if you go with Bates or if it'd be nice to have Hickman back, but I just don't know if he's going to be back.
Hey, is Helms a better run blocker or pass catcher?
Jeremy, I don't know. I've only seen him on TikTok. I've not seen him on the field.
Hey, to me, I'm with you, Benjamin Banner. Sharp has been pitiful in blocking. He needs to line up at receiver, line up in the slot. He does not need to be blocking on the outside of the line.
Hey,
figure it out and do it.
That the trail needs a scheme Texas style layups. I agree with that. Probably make it simple. Talon has a great point here, and he's right. His arm is elite. Elite 11 MVP, 5-star quarterback. He has an elite arm. He has to speed up the processing to match it. I would agree with that 1,000%.
Separate. Guys got to separate, or it ain't gonna matter.
Well, it does matter. Hey,
Mike,
Jeremy, let me. I know you don't want to talk about this either, but let me say this. I watched some film today of Raiola from Nebraska. He had guys not open at all, and he threw it, and then they became open. He threw them open is the term for it. You can do. I don't think Jackson Arnold's there yet, Jeremy. I don't think he is. And I'm not. Listen, I'm not saying he's not going to be
the
there.
receivers still have to get open, Jay. They're third teamers.
If you would let me finish talking, that's what I was going to say.
Zion Reagans did not get open the other night.
The difference
Actually did. Arnold rolled out and hit him in the helmet with it, and he dropped it.
The difference is the receivers are all new, and I think that's leading to him probably not have the trust and confidence.
He doesn't trust they're going to get open either. That's what I've been saying.
I was trying to kind of get back to Talon's point is he's got elite arm talent. That's not the issue, in my opinion.
He didn't play well. Jackson Arnold played pathetic. Got to be better. Got to be better.
Was it odd for you to see the SEC site, Jerm? The logo?
No, I'm used to it now. What's
that
hey,
House
listen.
Plug? I don't know who you're talking about, House Plug. If it's probably
It's Power Sharp. Power Sharp guy. Hey, it's been an hour. Hunter, help me out. Help us out here as we close this up because we got to recognize everyone. We appreciate everyone, but Benjamin Banner, wow. Sincere gratitude and thanks for the super and just being on here. Mr. Dilligaff for the 2 supers. Yeah. Comments as well about your playing days and some thoughts there and some insight. Chief T-Bird, as always, faithful Chief T-Bird. Appreciate you. Appreciate you so much. Everyone that's been on the chat, thanks so much. Even those who have been negative, like all of us, we love it, okay? And we love those who are positive as well. Chief closes it with as much as adversity we've had in 2 weeks, 2 positives are we're 2-0, and at least we aren't Colorado. What a dumpster fire. What a way to close it tonight. Chief T-Bird with the last word. We're 2-0, and we're not Colorado. Everybody have a good night. We'll see you all tomorrow. Have a great Wednesday.